offer on the house which I had, which is involved in the extortion racket, and basically when I put to Jamie Johnson, I rang him up. I think it was in late 2005, in November, I think it was. And the bottom line is I contacted him, and basically I hadn't spoken to him for years. And Jamie Johnson's the best friend of the George Loverock, senior police officer in West Australia. And basically I put to him that basically he was involved. The house the police are involved in the extortion of the property, and that's what's going on. My police operations that I've been going through is all about the property and to get it off me, and I'm dealing with an extortion racket, and he's involved, etc. And I passed this all on to him during a phone conversation in what I said was in November 2005, and basically Mr. Johnson absolutely went to shit. He could not communicate properly with me on the phone. He was umming and ahhing and gagging, and basically he was very sheepish, and basically he said that he'd get off the phone and he had to go, etc., etc. But the bottom line is he didn't have any answers, and like, it seemed very clear that what I was saying to him was really bothering him to a great detail, because I was 100% correct. Now, the next day, Mr. Johnson sent me another text message, and he said that he'd been to his lawyer's office, and basically, after using 3 corrupt lawyers to get to try and win over the property, and this time obviously I was a bit concerned about getting another lawyer and about the corruption that I've been facing with them all being corrupted by the police for Mr. Johnson's purposes. So the bottom line is that I didn't have a lawyer at the time, and that phone call that I presented to Mr. Johnson, my theory on the corruption and the extortion of the property, basically Mr. Johnson went to his lawyers the next day, shat himself, and basically read out an offer. They read out an offer, and this is the offer. I'm not sure you can see that. It's a lawyer's offer. McDonald and Sweeney. Yep, there's the offer. 2 pages, and basically that offer basically straight up says, we refer to previous correspondence concerning the above matter. We know that Mr. Van Noort no longer represents you. Our client has instructed us that this matter has now been outstanding for some considerable time. We are further instructed that our client has from time to time received threatening and abusive SMS text messages from you or on your behalf. Our client has reached a stage where he simply wishes to resolve the matter and see it finalised. On this basis, our client instructed us to write the following without prejudice proposals of settlement for consideration by you, namely that. A. Our client resigned as a director of Genlia Pty, and if necessary you appoint another director of Genlia Pty or otherwise take steps to wind up Genlia Pty Ltd. B. Our client transfer his share in Genlia Pty to you or your nominee for the consideration of $1. You indefinitely and keep indemnified our client in respect to any liability of Genlia, the company. D. Our client otherwise transfer his entire interest, right and title in any of the assets or property of Genlia Ltd or your nominee. E. Especially in respect to the 2 properties being Douglas Avenue and Berkshire, our client transfer his entire right, title and interest in those properties to you or your nominee, the transfer. F. In respect to the transfer, you be liable for all cost, stamp duty and the like associated with the transfer. G. You discharge the existing mortgage over the property. H. The parties bear their own costs and legal costs incurred to date in respect to the dispute. And I. The settlement being full and final settlement of all issues between the parties in respect to Genlia Pty and otherwise. And also the other condition that you undertake not to make any contact whatsoever in the future with our client. Now there is $1.1 million stating that I'm 100% correct. There's no asking for any money, etc. It is straight up. You can have the house back, no cost, and basically just pay the stamp duty. Now the bottom line is that makes me 100% correct in my my beliefs, which are the hospital, Bentley Hospital, saying are delusional. But $1.1 million that you can have it for free is not delusional. There's the offer there. Donovan and Sweeney, there you go, there's the offer there. You can have all your shit back for basing your theory on the police being corrupt and trying to steal the property off you in an extortion racket. Now, I don't know what more do I have to say or prove. Thank you.